As part of a little, I'm going to do a shop update, and as part of that shop update, I'm going to show you some stuff. I went to an auction on, well, actually, I went to it on 2 days. The auction wasn't 2 days. The preview was on Monday. Auction was on Tuesday. It was a large construction contractor in the Buffalo area went out of business, and they had an auction. Now he didn't go out of business because of business. He went out of business because he's been indicted for bid rigging fraud in conjunction with some state officials. So the company is a very large company. It was a very large construction company. It's a very large company. They still have property management, and they're still going to do construction management. They're just not going to do general contracting. But I regress. I went to the auction on Tuesday, and I bought some stuff. Now, I kind of went there with the intention of buying certain items, and as any of you know that have gone to auctions, there some items go ridiculously low, other items go ridiculously high. And I kind of had my eye on a couple of bandsaws, not shop bandsaws, but portabands. They had some Milwaukee portabands there, and they had a stout cordless portaband there, and to show you how ridiculous sometimes things are, the stout bandsaw, which was used, cordless portaband, I can buy it new for $189 on the internet, free shipping. They sold this used bandsaw there at the auction for $230. But then again, there was other things that went for nothing. Shelves of miscellaneous stuff went for $5. But then again, other things went very high. But there was some extension cords, boxes of new extension cords. Now I was the first one in on these extension cords. There was lot items, varying lot items throughout the bidding process. So I was the first lot item. It was a box and one extra one. So there was 5 50-foot, 12 gauge, brand new extension cords. I got them for $80. And there was something thrown in with that too that I didn't take. I think it was like the end of a post hole digger, not the handles but the end. But anyways, so I went, one of the items that I picked up, and that's where I'm going to start, and what I'll do is I'm going to break this video up and separate the stuff out and kind of show it to you later. But one of the items that I got was a desk and the contents of a shelf or a bench area just to the left of the desk, and let me start there. So this is a desk, and this is the paint guns were not inside of the desk, but this is just I mean, there's other things in the desk, pens, pencils, stuff like that I didn't take out, but this is some of the stuff that I found in the desk. Annular cutters, or some people call them rotor broaches, industrial marking pens. Here's a shear that goes on a sawzall, and you can use it to cut metal, snip metal. There was drill bits and just whole bunches of stuff. Metal gauges, just entirely whole bunches of stuff. There was a hydrometer someplace. I don't even know what I did with that. Then along the shelf there was these 3 paint guns, and if any of you have seen my other videos, you know that I had this thing about buying a paint gun, and but I didn't really want to get into cleaning it up, so we'll check them out. 2 of them have regulators on, so you can just feed them off of a regular air compressor and not have to worry about the regulator. Then there was this skid of stuff. Honda engine. As you can see, there's like blades. Here's the boxes with the power cords in it. There were some tools. My grandson wanted a ramset gun for his work, and I picked that up. That vise was part of it. And then a bunch of metal, but it was just basically scrap metal. Some pipe, some like signpost metal type materials. But again, what I'll do is I'll pull this bucket of wrenches over there. That's actually a garbage bucket, so you can see how big some of those wrenches are. But again, I'll pull this apart and I'll show it all to you. One of the other things that I bought is this compressor. I got this compressor because the compressor that I have, I bought it. I bought the compressor that I have at Tractor Supply. Let me show it to you. And it's a good compressor, and it works fine for everything except for when I'm blasting. So it's an Ingersoll Rand air compressor, and again, that compressor works fine except when I'm using the blast cabinet, and then it just won't keep up with it. So what I'm going to do is probably at some point in time I got to run an air line in the shop, and I'm going to probably hook these compressors up together to feed the air line off of different circuits logically, but I'll hook them up into the same air line. As you can see, the compressor's been modified, but it works. I mean, it was actually running, or could be run, well, when we were at the auction. So I'll bring you back. Okay, one of the items, it's a complete set of oil filter wrenches. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them in there. Tire pressure filler, set of sockets, letter and number punches, diamond and carbide saw blades or blades. Also got a set of glass suction cups. These things are really neat. You want to pick up a big sheet of glass, you just put this in there, pump it, creates a suction on it, and you can pick up the glass. Miscellaneous bucket. It's got lubricating stuff in it. Some nylon ropes, or yeah, I guess you would call it rope, twine, rope. Yeah, just that. Here's a little Burns-O-Matic. I've never seen these before. It's propane and oxygen. It's a little brazing kit. I've never seen that before. Pretty cool though. Little tip on it. all the framing squares that you would ever need, 5 of them. Another extension cord, that one's been used. Where the other ones in the boxes are brand new. Levels, air guns, map gas torch, a honing wheel. I'm not really sure what this thing is. It's some kind of, it's a transport security. The thing adjusts, it slides out. Well, it did slide out. Yeah, there it goes. Not really sure what that is. Scrap metal if I can't figure it out. Okay, so there's 2 crescent socket sets. And in the bottom of the barrel is most of the sockets and wrenches and stuff. Not saying they're all there, but just at least it's Crescent, not some cheap brand. That's all. These socket sets all came with that desk and bunch of stuff on the shelf next to this thing is getting long enough. I'm going to cut it off here. A bucket with when I say cut it off here, I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff. Some of this stuff is going to be thrown away. I mean, there's some old tin snips. Granted, they are Weiss, but some of them are bad. Files and Torx and nut drivers. Here's a Caterpillar. I guess it's a filter cutter. So if you've got like diesel engines, you know that you want to explore sometimes the filters on them. So this is a cutting tool that cuts the top of the filter off, and you can remove the filter element and check it and make sure, like oil filters, if there's metal particles in it, or fuel filters, what kind of debris are getting into the fuel filter. Just a whole bunch of stuff here. Milwaukee grinder. They had a cutoff wheel in it. That Ramset gun that I was telling you about. There's that Honda engine. I guess it's 9 horsepower is what it says on it. I think this is another, this is a Hilti, yeah, like a Hilti Ramset. There's that vise. That vise is a, I can't read the name of it. I got this big angle grinder too. No one, but I wanted that. Box of miscellaneous stuff. There is those wrenches laid out. I think they go from 1.5 up through 2 3/8 or 2 5/8. I'm not sure. Bunch of skill packs. The packs that you find like in, I'm sorry, not skill, steel. Chainsaw things where it's got the spark plug wrench and stuff like that in it. I've got a bunch of the nuts, arbor nuts off of right angle grinders, and a bunch of tools for them. Now I know that a lot of people don't use the tools on a right angle grinder, but sometimes when you get a flapper disc on it, on a right angle grinder, sometimes they're really hard to get off, so it's nice to have the tool. Actually, I had one tool and tried to get a flapper disc off of a right angle grinder and broke the pins off the tool, but I regress. So kind of there is that. That's going to be it for the shop update. I'm still going to do a tool thing. I'm going to talk about my toolbox, what I did with the screwdrivers, and my obsession with tools in another shop update or toolbox update. But that'll be at a later date.